All right, let's get back on track now. As I said, the Stop Co-Governance movement held meetings up and down this country that were well attended. Julian Batchelor, the guy running it, he got vilified. Councils, he got run out of Balclutha by the mayor, or the mayor tried to run him out of Balclutha. There was dirty skullduggery by councils and the Scouts Association, who all sought to deplatform Julian Batchelor, and there were all sorts of woke rumblings against him, particularly, it would seem, from the Disinformation Project and one Sanjay Hatatawa, who went on TVNZ and said some, I think, defamatory things about Julian Batchelor. So we're going to start our chat with Julian today. He joins us now. G'day, Julian. How are you? Kia ora.
Oh, don't wash your mouth out. Hey, Sean, welcome to, thank you for having me on, mate. Everything you just said in your intro was perfectly true, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
So we filed legal proceedings for defamation against TVNZ and Sanjawa Hatatawa. He's a researcher at the Disinformation Project. TVNZ and Hatatawa have filed statements of defence. They're saying, they didn't defame me. So a case management conference is scheduled for December the 5th, where the judge is likely to set a timetable for exchange of evidence. So we're all going to have to sit around, go to court,
It takes
and
a while.
exchange evidence.
And it costs some money.
Exchange evidence. Yeah, but that's okay. It's all right. The money thing's all sorted. So it's, for me, it's disappointing to have to ask the court to resolve this issue. But I take my reputation seriously and tried without success to resolve the issue with TVNZ and Hatatawa, and they didn't respond. So
they never even apologised for calling. Basically, they called you a racist, didn't they?
They called me a racist, and that was blatantly not true. So they're now going to have to prove that. And the other guy that we've taken to court just now is the guy called Bill Tahuia Hamilton, who is a senior Maori leader, who blatantly lied about me and the conferences we're running on the RCR radio program. So we've just started legal proceedings against him as well.
Okay.
And, he was caught out telling big porkies, call them lies, that's what they are. And so, anyway, he was caught out. And so we've got two of them going now.
Yeah. Julian, what about the campaign itself, the Stop Co-Governance campaign? Does a change of government and the likelihood of a referendum on co-governance, does that take the wind out of your sails? Does that mean your job is done and you can move on?
Oh, hell no. No. Absolutely the opposite. We are gearing up for a 3-year campaign. I mean, we've only been going since February this year, Sean.
Yeah.
But we're all gearing up to go full steam ahead and step it all up a level. I'm off to Taupo this weekend to do another conference, and so we have lots of things in the pipeline, strategies for the next 3 years, including putting up billboards. We've got roughly about 100 billboards up around the country. We've just produced 100,000
but Julian,
flyers.
if we have a government that rejects co-governance, and we're told that the constituent parties do, and maybe even has a referendum on the principles of the Treaty of Waitangi, what exactly are you campaigning against?
Well, let me tell you this, that the National Party's told us openly that they're going to keep co-governance going. I don't think...
When did they say that? Because that's not... Well, see, Luxon, it wouldn't surprise me. What did they say precisely?
They said precisely that the National Party is supporting co-governance arrangements with iwi, with respect to natural resources like rivers and lakes and the oceans and mountains and so on. He's not in favour, says Luxton, of co-governance with social services like hospitals. He's going to, disassemble the separate Maori health system. But no, they are full on. Now, the Maori Potaka, the Maori MP from Hamilton who was just elected, he has said that he's getting together with another Maori MP, and they're going to be very careful how they rename co-governance as co-management. So already, National is, exhibiting some skullduggery. The same sort of things that Labor did to try and trick the public. But we're seeing through all that, and I'm telling you, the National Party's keeping co-governance going, and they're going to try and hide their tracks. and
Okay.
kind of
Look, I'm not disagreeing that there are indications there that Luxon is not committed in the way that you would be, or many people who voted for him, to ensuring that there isn't the creation of an ethno-state or some sort of administrative apartheid in this country. So you're saying that. Are you saying? And I don't want to use military terms. I don't want to say you're a weapon. That's a terrible thing to say about someone. But have you got a new target? Have you got a new enemy, and that's the National Party?
It would definitely be the National Party, because Mr. Luxon is woke. No doubt about it, he's woke, and he's. If you've seen, you have. I've been listening to your program. Obviously, you've seen all the threats from various Maori, John Tamahiri, from Tau Henry, from Debbie Narira Paka, from Willie Jackson, saying there's going to be 10 times bigger than the Springbok Tour protests if anybody touches the treaty. So we're heading for a huge showdown, and obviously John Key caved into Taniara Turia when there was a threat back then, and we've got video footage of John Key saying, no, we'd never scrap the Maori seats because I don't want to heckle from hell, and all this sort of stuff. So the Maori, radical Maori in New Zealand, Maori political leaders, they are trying to scare the pants off Luxon to cave in and not go with David Seymour's referendum.
Look, the other thing, Julian, the other thing that has happened in this election, and there is no doubt that the Māori Party are more radical, certainly in their rhetoric, and as I said, associated with the Aotearoa Liberation League, quite clearly one of those young, well-funded by overseas millionaires people who've been running the campaign against you. They're all together. They've done rather well, the Māori Party. The really radical Maoris have got almost all the Māori seats, Julian. So if anything, the opposition to you is going to have a little bit more of a power base.
Well, if the Maori seats were scrapped, they'd only have, I think there was only one person who was actually elected in terms of, was she outside of America? Were they all Maori seats? We've got 6 Maori MPs now and there. Were they all coming from Maori seats, or were any of them general seats? Do you know that?
Yeah, no, look, I'm not sure. I haven't done the analysis. So, Julian, what I hear is you are not over. You are now saying, OK, we're going to hold Luxon's feet to the fire on these issues. Do you think he misled the public on his opposition to co-governance? Do you think he's been speaking with a forked tongue?
I think that he has, and I think that he's going to get punished. If he goes with co-governance, he's going to be punished at the next election. He'll be out. And the ire of the public is going to be stirred against Luxon for tricking them, because they were voted in to get rid of co-governance and to stop this apartheid racist nonsense that's being pushed out by radical Maori. If you listen to the Maori Party, they're saying they targeted young people with social media. That was their strategy. And the reason they have been able to get the hearts of young people is they have been systematically brainwashing them through the new history curriculum, through all the initiatives that they have targeted young people to win them over to the Maori cause.
Yeah. But you have got 2 parties who are going to be part of the next government who are probably more aligned with you, and that is the ACT Party and New Zealand First, Julian.
Well, let's see what they come up with. But, I hope it doesn't degenerate into we couldn't do what we were mandated to do by the voters because Luxon wouldn't let us, and we had to compromise.
Well, I think the problem you have, Julian, is Luxon is saying I was mandated to get the economy right and get rid of the separate Maori health system, but that's about it, and I don't want to be any more radical than that.
Well, let's just see how it all pans out. But if he doesn't get rid of it, there's going to be rising anger and ire amongst voters in New Zealand, and Luxon will be a one-term Prime Minister.
Julian, I thank you as always very much indeed for your time. We will keep in touch. Have a good day.
Thanks, John. Bye.
Ka kite anō to Julian Batchelor, the leader, founder of the Stop co-governance movement, so they've got a couple of defamation cases going. My understanding is TVNZ and Sanja Hatatoa never even responded to the legal documents they've got. That's contemptuous. And TVNZ is a publicly owned broadcaster, Crown-owned entity. I think it should behave with more... That's a very biased way for TVNZ to do business. It should have given in the decency of a reply, because a legal summons is a legal claim is a legal claim. There's a proper way to deal with things.